Good evening. This is Weekdays with Wendy. I'm reading from the Love Your Neighbor, No Exceptions calendar, and today's reading is a quote by the Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. When I was young, I admired clever people. Now that I am old, I admire kind people. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and I wanted to tell just a little bit about St. Patrick and what I view to be his kind way of ministering to the people of Ireland. Now, Patrick was actually British. He wasn't Irish. He was born in Britain to a wealthy family, and when he was just a teenager, a group of Irish raiders, pirates, came and attacked his family's estate. They kidnapped Patrick and took him back as a slave to Ireland. He would spend the next 6 years working as a shepherd. Now, his father had been a deacon in the church, but there's no evidence that they were particularly religious. In that day, it was as much an honorary title or a political move as anything. But when Patrick became a slave in Ireland, he was taking care of the sheep. He was all alone, and he was away from his family. He was away from the civilization that he knew, and he felt very lonely and afraid. And so he turned back to religion and became very devout in his faith. After 6 years, he was able to escape. Now, he would write later on that he heard a voice from God telling him it was time to go home. He would walk over 200 miles to get to the coast and be able to escape back to Britain. Once he was there, he had another kind of dream, a vision, where an angel was telling him to return to Ireland as a missionary. And so he began a study, a religious study course, and finally was able to be ordained as a priest. And he did return to Ireland, where he ministered to the few Christians who were on the island, but also introduced Christianity to the rest of the population. Most of Ireland practiced a pagan religion. And instead of condemning them, Patrick incorporated some of their earliest pagan beliefs and would bring those symbols into Christianity. Now, that can give some people pause, but it's exactly what early Christians have always done. The Apostle Paul, when he went to the city of Athens, he saw all the temples dedicated to different gods. In fact, they hedged their bets and they had an altar for the unknown God. And so Paul said, I can see you're a religious people. You even have this altar dedicated to the unknown God. Let me tell you about that God. Patrick did the same thing in Ireland. He would incorporate some of the pagan imagery, for example, the sun, and he would put that on top of the cross and then explain to them, taught to them about the living God. And there's truth in what he did. The living God had always been with the people of Ireland, loving them, caring for them. And so Patrick helped to open their eyes to the God that they worshiped. Patrick would die on March 17th, we believe the year 460. He was never actually canonized as a saint because there was no formal canonization process during his day, but I think he became a saint by popular vote, popular opinion. And so if you think about what Patrick endured, he was captured by raiders. enslaved and forced to work, and spent 6 years of his young adulthood as a slave, as a shepherd, off by himself. He made a decision to return to those people. What a kind, sacrificial act. No, he did it out of the prompting of God, but there's no evidence that he fought against it. He would minister to the people and show them incredible kindness. Let us all remember St. Patrick and his sacrificial love for the people of Ireland. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and have a great night.